lot of us didn't have that father figure. We had a home of drug addiction.
A lot of gang members are lost. They're confused. I mean, they don't understand half of what they get into because everybody that they thought they could trust found out they can't trust.
My father, he was murdered when I was 13. I did have a lot of anger, and I just didn't know how to take it out. And I was lonely, and I needed a family, you know. I started making bad decisions.
My juvenile hall career started when I was 13 years of age.
Only two things are going to happen. You're going to get a bullet or you're going to get a life sentence. And that's just like being dead. This is where you're going to go if you don't change your life now.
It kind of dawned on me. You want someone else raising your son? I want a family. I want safety.
Everything that I did not have, everything that I went through, this boy is not going to be a part of.
I was on a path just like these kids. Everything was fighting, anger. All of us were taught to be soldiers. Okay, well then, love your neighborhood then. Turn it into something good for your kids if you want to stay in that neighborhood and make it something better.
To see you make all those changes.
Tell them to turn my mic on. Oh, no. Go ahead and turn the lights down. Sorry. Turn my mic. There we go. Okay, our big cue of the lights going down didn't work very well, so we're going to start that video all over again. Please take your seats. Our show is beginning, and I hope you'll enjoy the video that was created by Mr. Gervitz. There you are. Raise your hand. Outstanding video. Thank you. You'll recognize Arthur Soriano in this video and his little boy, Joshua, who was just a little baby when that video was made. Mr. Salvador Robles, who will come up and speak to you, who is also featured in the video. So if you can all, settle down, get your food. Desserts will be out. Feel free to get up and get a beverage. Go back and get the desserts when you need them. But let's start that video again, and I hope you will enjoy it.
A lot of us didn't have that father figure. We had a home of drug addiction.
A lot of gang members are lost. They're confused. I mean, they don't understand half of what they get into because everybody that they thought they could trust found out they can't trust.
My father, he was murdered when I was 13. I did have a lot of anger, and I just didn't know how to take it out. And I was lonely, and I needed a family, you know. I started making bad decisions.
My juvenile hall career started when I was 13 years of age.
Only two things are going to happen. You're going to get a bullet or you're going to get a life sentence. And that's just like being dead. This is where you're going to go if you don't change your life now.
It kind of dawned on me. You want someone else raising your son? I want a family. I want safety.
Everything that I did not have, everything that I went through, this boy is not going to be a part of.
I was on a path just like these kids. Everything was fighting, anger. All of us were taught to be soldiers. Okay, well then, love your neighborhood then. Turn it into something good for your kids if you want to stay in that neighborhood and make it something better.
To see you make all those changes and to go through what you had to go through. You're so strong.
To change, you have to sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice?
I don't want him to suffer like I suffered.
We ain't gonna give up. I know what it is for someone to give up on you. I know what it is for somebody to say you're not worth nothing.
The biggest misperception about gang members is that they're bad people. They're somebody's son or daughter too, and we have a responsibility to ensure that it stops.
I see a lot of kids slip through the cracks, but just for that one time, man, it makes it all worth it.
hear me? No? This one? Hello, hello. Okay. My name is Salvador Robles. I'm 23 years old. Um, I'm one of Youth Empowerment's first members, or first youth. No, it's fine. It's fine. I've been with Youth Empowerment for over 8 years since he first started back in 2014, I believe. I want to thank Arthur and other youth mentors for helping me with my struggles as a teen, all the way until I was off probation. My mind wasn't right, and so weren't my emotions. But with Youth Empowerment, they helped me deal and get through my trauma. He also taught me how to get back to the community with expecting nothing in return. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I haven't made a speech in over like 6 years, so so. But yeah, with Youth Empowerment, he helped me deal with a lot of trauma. You know, that's what they're based around. Dealing with trauma at-risk youth. And I appreciate Arthur, Gabby, is Robert here? Well, a lot of other mentors that are involved with the program. You know, I was always in and out of juvie. After I lost my pops, then I had a lot of anger in me. A lot of mixed emotions. I still do to this day, but I know how to deal with it now a little bit better. Because there's a bunch of exercises for dealing with trauma. I remember back then when Arthur first started the program. I believe everything was out of his pocket. He'll have barbecues, 20 pounds of carne asada. Like damn, where you get all that meat from? But yeah, there used to be so many youth that would go to the park. All races, with a bunch of differences. Different gangs. I don't know if that's okay to say. But yeah, we used to eat, ball up, play football. He used to bring all types of different balls to play sports. But yeah, during that time I had just lost my pops, so it was, and my pops had got murdered literally down the street for where he was hosting these events. So I found out he contacted me and let me know come join him, and I did. And since then, he's looked out for me. When I go to juvie, he'll show up to my courts, and then I'll attend every meeting. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm almost done. I'm sorry. I was talking too much. But yeah, I'm no longer with Youth Empowerment. It's been about 2 years, 3 years. But they helped me get off probation, and they helped me think. They helped me think twice a lot, and now I have 2 businesses, I'm the trash man, so I pick up trash, and I also do custom clothing. If you ever need custom shirts, custom hoodies, anything custom made. I do stitching as well. If you need stitching done.
But that's all I had to say. I'm sorry. Sorry I stuttered at the beginning. Hello? Hello? Can you guys hear me? All right, well, good night, everybody. If my voice cracks, it's because I'm nervous. It's my first time. But, that's my boy. Well, my name is Kevin Suarez. I'm 18 years old. A little bit about myself is I'm a documented gang member. I've been in a gang since an early teenager. And coming up in the gang, I was violent. I was a heavy drinker. I used to do drugs, as in crystal meth and cocaine. But now after serving a year in juvenile hall and a few years being in a gang, I carry a different mentality with myself. Now my future is becoming a mentor in youth empowerment. I want to help young adults like myself to come out the dark and give them the support to a better life. And during my time, in juvenile hall, I've had a special person come visit me, and he himself has seen my growth, my mindset. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to represent you, CEO of Youth Empowerment, Arthur Soriano.
Thank you. I got to get out here a little bit because I get a little nervous being in that background. Hey, Chava, remember Judge Willis? Showed up to the courts faithfully. After getting into a situation, being present. Sometimes it takes 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 20 times. These 2 young men, that's their first suits. That's a big accomplishment. Kevin, been visiting them in juvenile hall, East Mesa detention facility for the last year, going in, building the relationship, coming out with high support. So first and foremost, I want to acknowledge these youth, the youth individuals and families. There's participants here from every program that we have, whether it's the youth, the adult reentry, or our parents from Rosa Parks Elementary. Welcome to H.E.A.L 2022, honoring, empowerment, advocacy, leadership. Thank you to our sponsors, Pacific Western, National Parents Union, CCFY, Project Aware, Safety and Justice, UPAC, Lydia Sierra Consulting, Learn for Life, and the County of San Diego, Equity of Racial and Justice. And we couldn't make this happen without CVS and AETNA. Our main sponsors, thank you for everyone that supported youth empowerment, whether it's as a parent, as a volunteer, as a community member, as a system, as an organization, whatever that looks like. We want to thank you all for your support. Maria from AETNA, CVS, do you have a few words?
Well, this is a just for me, an amazing evening, seeing everybody from the community. I am a graduate of Hoover High School, where you serve. So I don't know if you guys knew that, but I am a product of City Heights. And go Cardinals! But I grew up in City Heights, and I know this community, and it's so dear to my heart to see these youth. And when I met Arthur doing my street outreach for CVS Health, I'm very proud and honored to be able to be in this position now in my current role to help grassroots organizations like Youth Empowerment and to continue helping, serving really hard to serve youth. And I see the work that you do, and it's just remarkable, and it brings, tears to my eyes, all the work that you do and the changes that you're making in these young people's lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Maria. Tamika Nelson, can you please stand up? She's the new chief of probation, y'all. I had the pleasure of meeting her at the Ohio State building, and sometimes I'm a pretty good judge of character, so when I seen her, I was like, man, she got some good spirit. Like, she got some good character, and then she gets it, because I've been looking at her speak in front of the county and county board of supervisors, right? So when she gets talking about that racial equity and trauma-informed practices and restorative justice, I get excited about that. The model that we have here in San Diego is like no other. You go to another city, it just doesn't look like that. So we have something special here in San Diego County. And just thank you, Tamika, for being present. Thank you for all the partners that are here, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the San Diego Unified School District, probation, our supporters that have came and supported youth empowerment in one form or another. Our Transforming Trauma campaign. What is that? So a few years ago, through the Clinton Health Initiative, the Clinton Foundation, San Diego Foundation, the County of San Diego, Youth Empowerment, Project Aware, Just in Time. A lot of the times, as far as with the kids, the bulk of the work falls on Youth Empowerment and Project Aware, as far as getting the kids, getting them together, highlighting their voices, and the work that they're doing in the community. Through that initiative, strategically, we came to the table for 6 months, and we told the kids, we had anywhere from 20 to 35, even 40 kids, meeting every week, every month. How do you want to be treated? How do you want a system to connect with you? How do you want an organization to connect with you? And the 4 pillars that they came out with through the trauma-informed code of conduct was supportive staff, effective communication, individualized support, and supportive staff. So the initiative, it came and it went. We had a discussion at the office like, okay, hey, remember the trauma-informed code of conduct? That came and went. Like, what are we going to do about that? So we decided to put this Transforming Trauma campaign together. We're in the process of developing 8 modules, 8 workbooks on trauma-informed practices, how to connect with underserved communities, mentorship, credible messengers, substance abuse, non-traditional leadership, transformational leadership, individuals with lived experience being at the table. Because like my mama always said, if you're not at the table, then you're at the menu. And I know she's out there somewhere. My biggest supporter, my biggest mentor, the lady that was always role modeling has a big impact on individuals. She's president of Mi Casa, Su Casa. I was able to see that, feel that, embrace that, be motivated by that. So that's where my passion and fire comes from. I want to acknowledge Caroline, Jenny, Marisol Rorucha, the team that's putting this modules, this trauma-informed code of conduct, curriculums with all these different modules. We look to have these completed within 2 months. Through the Transforming Trauma campaign, we received some funding. Through Elevate Youth, we received some funding from the DA's department. So we were able to hire on 10 youth. We've been training different organizations, systems, sheriff's department, DAs in Atlanta, school districts in Atlanta, different organizations. That's our social impact. We want to be able to feel presence when you walk inside a probation department, when you walk inside an organization. When someone walks into the office, you want to feel that embrace. How you doing? How you been? Even though if they're looking at you with their head to the floor, right? Like, what's going on with you? How can we have that effective communication? How can we have supportive staff presence where there's individualized support for that youth, individual, or family? So that's a snippet on what the Transforming Trauma campaign is. Within 2 months, we'll have all our 8 modules completed. We're excited. I see UPAC in the house. We're actually in a competition right now with the Lions Healthcare Foundation. The last 10 for that million. But that's good competition. See? That's good collaboration. That's good partnership. We're all achieving that same goal, that same mission. So thank you for everybody being here present. Thank you for all our supporters. And we want to continue on with our H.E.A.L Awards. Our first H.E.A.L Award will go to Dorothy Thrush. This is her daughter. So she wasn't able to be here present today. She retired. She moved out of state. But I want to let you know, as her daughter, youth empowerment and several organizations with lived experience, we felt empowered. I don't know how all that policies and procedures and, how all that works, right? But all I know is that under her watch, and she was really hard to read, too. I would always hey, Dorothy, she was just, yes, right? But we felt empowered.
My mother is indeed a very empowering woman.
Yes.
She inspired me in so many ways and throughout my life and in the way I wanted to grow as a person and just contribute to my own community. And I just want to thank all of you for honoring my mother.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, okay. I know, I'm okay, thank you. Our next award will go to Mario Valladolid. This brother right here, he's being presented with the Advocacy Award. You talk about dismantling the school to prison pipeline, right? When you're with Mario, you're at the table, you're talking with principals, you're having that hard discussion. Mario's voice is present, and it's present for the kids, for the right reasons. And so, brother, we want to honor you with the Advocacy Award. We appreciate you. You've always been a warrior, a revolutionary, someone that's real, could have hard conversations, real conversations. So we appreciate you, we love you, and we respect you, brother. So thank you very much.
I just want to say thank you to Youth Empowerment and to all the mentors that are out there. You all are doing the job that needs to be done, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. You know, one of the things that I remember about Youth Empowerment was being at H.E.A.L Park and them doing it, him and his wife. And that's the kind of work that needs to be done when it comes from the heart. Not because somebody's telling you to do it or someone's paying you to do it, but because it's the right thing to do. So I just want to thank you, Arturo, because it's a pleasure having you in our schools, Project Aware and others, but organizations like Youth Empowerment that really care about our families. So thank you for everything you continue to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And our next award goes to Jason Druxman, Leadership Award. Happy birthday, Jason. So we've been on this journey for about 8-9 years. And I remember 8-9 years ago having a hard conversation about I couldn't go inside juvenile hall. That made me feel real uncomfortable for a little bit, right? But it's all about like building relationships, building trust, having a hard conversation if we need to have that hard conversation, right? And being honest with one another. I appreciate Jason. He's an individual that if I make a phone call or a text, he's gonna text me right back or give me a phone call right back. And to me, that's an example of what a true relationship is, right? Of keeping that effective communication, the communication lines open, because there's a lot going on. You're talking about individuals with lived experience partnering and collaborating with probation. You know, you try to do that in other cities, in other states, that don't fly right. So I just appreciate you, brother. I appreciate everything that you've done for us, our partnerships, our collaborations, and I love you. You're a great man, and I appreciate you.
Thank you very much. I'm humbled by the award. It has been a long journey. We've been working together a long time, and both Youth Empowerment and Project Aware have been very dear to my heart, and we've accomplished a lot. If any of them call me, like you said, I'll call them right back. I will do whatever I can to help them, because what they're doing is hard work, and it's important work. And we recognize that, and us in the probation department can't do it without them. We know that, And we've learned some hard lessons through that, and this collaboration is so important. We appreciate you and what you do. You have mentors with us. You come in the institutions. You work with these youth, and they respond to you, and we know that. And we just appreciate you guys so much. And really, Youth Empowerment and Project Aware, you guys should be getting the award. You know, for someone, I've been in the probation department for 25 years, and I never really understood how important it was to work with people in the community until probably the last 10 or 15 years, and what they can do for us, and they're so passionate, and just like us, we're passionate about the work that we do, and we want to continue to improve. We've learned a lot from you in how to support the youth, how to support adults, and how to continually improve. And that's our job, is to continually improve and to support you, support the youth, support all of our clients, the adults. And thank you again. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the award.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Yes, our Trauma to Triumph Award. Alex. This young gentleman right here, working with him on juvenile probation, he was 15, 16, 16. He went away for a little bit. He's experienced a lot of trials and tribulations. He's been with us for the last 6 months, and he's on fire. He's excited about life. And we have 4 months, right? We have 4 months to get your daughter back. And that's our goal. I love you, I respect you, and I appreciate you. Okay?
I hope everyone's having a good time. More than anything, I'm very thankful. I'm thankful that I was able to meet Arthur at a very younger age, when I did. And even though at the time I wasn't ready for change, eventually those seeds that were planted, they sprouted, and eventually now they're there, they're growing on solid soil. And I'm grateful for Youth Empowerment. It's a very great, very honest program, I'm just glad to be a part.
Okay, our next award from Trauma to Triumph, our lead co-trainer, Carla Garcia. I'll just keep it short and sweet with Carla. She's our lead co-trainer. We trust her to do a training without us. She's that effective, she's that sharp, and she brings a special talent to Youth Empowerment, and we look forward to growing with you, Carla, with the K. Yes.
Well, man, this light is very bright. But just first things first, this dedicated to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I wouldn't be here if it weren't for him. Oh, man. I'm just so grateful. I feel very, very grateful to be here today, alive. So many times, like, I wouldn't even be here. I struggled with a lot growing up as a kid, and by God's grace and love and forgiveness and power, I'm going to be 9 months sober in 2 days. I struggled. Thank you. My battle was alcoholism and substance abuse with marijuana, and now, like, I just feel so free and, like, just so grateful. And I know this is God's plan, because Arturo came at the right time. This is his organization, so I just want to thank you, Arturo, and everybody paving the way, because you guys do bring the light in the darkness. And I'm just here, just to be a light for people, because it's needed. It's needed for the youth, because at 14, that's when I started drinking alcohol as a way of escape. And, because of the resources here, being informed about trauma, being informed about why I was doing what I was doing, why I was thinking the way I was thinking, it allowed me to gain a better perspective. And I also want to thank Reggie, man. Like, he's someone that always poured belief in me also. And I just want to thank just everybody that's paving the way for us. And so I'm going to stop, because I could keep talking. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mama. And can we get all the youth to come up here? Yeah. Yes. All the youth that are here present today. You too, Alex. Yeah. Yeah. Come here, Felicity. Yeah. I'm already blind. Yeah, me too. Yeah. I'm legally blind, y'all. Me too. And so we want to honor all these youth with a big hand of applause. But before we get there, I just want to make a special announcement. We've been able to work with Facility. She's one of the original.
Sorry. It's Felicity.
Sorry. Felicity.
Don't worry.
Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh my God, don't worry.
And so she's one of the original trauma-informed code of conduct ambassadors. And she's always had a goal of starting her own corporation, her own business. So youth empowerment, we were able to put like $2,000 apart from a grant that we received to help support her, right? And so there's a lot of there's a lot of individuals here that could step it up and be a mentor to her if she needs it. Right now, whether it's a nonprofit, a C Corp, S Corp, whatever that looks like, she wants to continue her journey in achieving that goal. So can we all stand up and give these youth a hand of applause? All right. Thank you so much. Our speaker of the day, our keynote speaker, a gentleman that is definitely an inspiration to my life, to my family, always on a text, giving me words of encouragement, just inspiring me, right? If I need some support, like a quick phone call will do. Because the individuals that are doing the work, we need that support as well. So we want to introduce Jeffrey Henderson today with the big warm embrace. And before Sue, he's going to show a video.
What are you doing here? Stop it! Who are you? He's an ex-convict who's the first to tell you he is not proud of his early years.
Me and my sister pretty much took care of ourselves. I grew up in a neighborhood just like this one here. A lot of poverty, abandoned homes, people sleeping in cars, dealers hanging out on the corners.
Arrested for theft at 15 years old. It wasn't long before Jeff says he started selling marijuana and crack cocaine.
I was making up to $35,000 a week, and I'm sure at least $4, $5, $6 million went through my hands.
But Jeff's high-rolling lifestyle came to an end. Federal agents raided his home and arrested him. He was convicted for drug trafficking and conspiracy.
When I first went to prison, I pretty much felt that I was done. I was finished.
It's never too late to have a wake-up call. There's always time to recognize that you have the power.
I began to accept responsibility for my past. And when I went to prison and I was experimenting with food and putting out great pastries and entrees and stuff, people were like, wow, Jeff in the kitchen today.
From the prison yard to the Las Vegas Strip.
Food is one of the most important things to a person who is incarcerated.
Chef Jeff's journey has been anything but ordinary.
Prison saved my life. You know, I was rescued from the streets. But I hope these young people can make the change in their life in society today without having to go to prison and take that journey that I had to take.
He became the first African-American executive chef at Cafe Bellagio.
You know, I had to straighten up the way I walk. You know, I had to clean shave my face.
Is a New York Times best-selling author, former star of the Food Network's The Chef Jeff Project, and today is the host of the nationally syndicated television show, Flip My Food.
Hi, I'm Chef Jeff, and welcome to Flip My Food.
This is one of the better guys in the business and one of the top chefs in the country today. I gotta tell you, what a great story.
Chef Jeff Henderson.
Welcome, Chef Jeff.
Great evening, everyone. Great evening. Come on, you guys. Great evening. Yes. First of all, I want to say that tonight for me is about accountability. I would have never imagined in the 35 years that I've been off the streets here in San Diego that I would be in a room that represents so much diversity. And when I talk about diversity in this room, growing up here in Southeast San Diego in the early 80s during the crack cocaine and the gang pandemic in the early 1980s, to see black and brown lived experience individuals in the same room. No set tripping, no mean mugging. To see the diversity of the organizations in this room that represent the young people in this community. To see corporate America in this room. To see law enforcement in this room. It wasn't like this back in those days. When I look back at my life, before I became Chef Jeff, I want to apologize. I want to apologize for the harm that I've done in this community. I put a lot of cocaine, a lot of crack on these streets. Part of my life that I'm not proud of. And when you look at this generation of young people in this room, in this city, when you think about mass incarceration, $182 billion industry. When we talk about the school to prison pipeline, let's go a little deeper than the school to prison, to the neighborhood to prison pipeline. I was in those crack houses on 54th and Imperial, Groveland and Rawhide, the condos, East Dago, the coast, the hood, Little Africa. And for me to be able to stand here today as a 57-year-old man the accountability that us OGs, accountability that the ones who planted the seed for the trauma, for the high incarceration, especially of young black and brown boys that we see in this city. I want to apologize to those or anybody who have been impacted by those drugs. I came to San Diego in 1980. I got stabbed in Long Beach. I was going to Long Beach, Jordan High School. My mother lived out here. She brought me here at 16. I went to school at Lincoln. I had a dream, a little dream. My American dream was to one day to be able to buy a house on a hill with a white picket fence. I wanted to put that change in my mother's pocket. I failed in public school. Education didn't work for me. I had learning disabilities. I was easily influenced. Like many of the men in this room, my father wasn't in my life. My mother struggled to raise my sister and I. I'm partial blind in one eye. And when I used to get on the school bus as a little boy, it used to go through South Central off of 83rd and Normandy, through Baldwin Hills, Windsor Hills, to get to Culver City during the integration in the 70s. And I saw the American dream. I saw the houses. I imagined what it would be like living in these houses with a double-door refrigerator, choices for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I imagined what it would be like to wake up in the morning and say something I never said in my life was good morning, mommy, and good morning, daddy. I never was a violent person, but I was always curious about life. And then after I got here to San Diego, crack cocaine just showed up on the streets. It just showed up. We'd never been across the border, no farther than TJ. We didn't have passports. It just showed up one day. And when I saw the glorification of how crack ripped through Southeast San Diego and inner city communities all across this country, my new dream was to be a drug dealer. I wanted to be the #1 drug dealer in this city. I was influenced by the older homeboys who were lowriders, who were drug dealers. We made a lot of money. During the mid-1980s, the feds came in and they cleaned up the streets. And many of us went to prison. It was in prison, the darkest place on earth. First time I ever did time, never caught a juvie case. For some reason, I always got away. When I got indicted, when I was 23 years old, I went to prison, and I felt my life was over. But a miracle happened. And sometimes during a dark moment in our life, it can turn to brightness. Sitting in that cell, walking on concrete, for the first time in my life in prison, a black man put his hands on my shoulder and he called me son. That changed my life. And this man saw something in me I never saw in myself. I went to school. I started value reading. I read my first book in my life. From cover to cover, it was a book called Black Men, Obsolete, Single, Dangerous. And as I was reading through this book, I read about men who looked like me, that wasn't drug dealers, wasn't hustlers, wasn't pimps. And I was saying to myself, why didn't we have books like this in school? Why didn't we have billboards in the community where we had imagery of black and brown men who were successful, who had families, who wasn't criminal? So when we think about how we became criminalized, it's through those adverse childhood experiences. Most of our hustler mindset, that criminal mindset for young black and brown boys, was born out of one desire, out of desire to help our mothers. But we were blinded to the impact that violence and drugs had in our community. It wasn't until I went to prison. In 1990, Ebony magazine put out an article with a little crack baby on the cover, and it was a vial of crack. I looked at that magazine in prison. I said, oh my God, I was a part of that. And this is why it's important for me to be here in San Diego today. I've been working here in San Diego for the last 15 years quietly in juvie hall and been to a few schools out here. But to be here today to see organizations like Youth Empowerment, Arthur, Reggie Washington, a homeboy of mine, from back in the days we was on the street, Nunu, Big Pink, guys who I ran with on the streets back in the days, were co-conspirators to create this culture that we're dealing with here today. But while in prison, I went through that transformation. I went through that healing process, which is so important for us to be able to shift mentally. One day, I got fired on my job and put in the kitchen on a pot and pan detail. And when I was working in the prison kitchen, I realized the guys who worked in the kitchen got to eat better than the rest of the other inmates, right? So now I was figuring out how these guys was getting all swole up on the yard, right? They had all the protein and all the starch, and I started helping the cooks out, and I got really good. And then when Mr. Womack, the guy who taught me how to cook, went home, they made me the head inmate cook, eventually became the head inmate baker. And I was almost totally transformed in prison. I still had 10% of a little illegalness in me. I launched an underground catering business in prison, right? So I had all the chicken, the red onions, hard-boiled eggs for sale on the yard, right? So that was my little prison hustle. And so for the first time in my life, you know, being praised for something good, when the rest of the inmates on the prison used to praise me for my food, my cinnamon rolls, my chicken, and different concoctions I used to put together, I started to believe this maybe I could become a chef. An article came out in the USA about the top African-American chefs in the culinary world. And I started reading about these men, Marcus Hamilton, Patrick Clark, Robert Gatsby. And when I was released from prison 25 years ago, I went and found this chef in Beverly Hills, and he gave me a second chance. He taught me how to cook classical French cooking. And I worked my way up through Marriott Hotels, Ritz-Carlton, Hotel Bel Air, Hermitage, and eventually made my way to Las Vegas and became the first African-American executive chef running multi-million-dollar restaurants at Bellagio. Thank you. And I wanted to say that, not to really talk about, you know, my culinary acclaim and television and writing books, and you know, I've been on Oprah a few times. I never chased any of that. I just stayed true to myself, and I stayed focused on my gift. And I realized that individuals who are successful, and why a lot of us went down that dark road, is because we never saw the potential in us. We had no knowledge of self. We never saw family work. We never saw marriage work. And so a lot of times, street organizations, whether they're gangs or whatever organization that is, there was a sense of family. But I realized that we all been tricked. We all got led astray into believing that street life was the way. And so since I've been out of prison, I've met some extraordinary people in my life that helped me become who I am today. But I realized after all these years that I'm really not supposed to be a chef. I'm really supposed to be doing the work that many of you organizations are doing in here. Recently, I launched the Chef Jeff Project, which is a nonprofit 501c3 organization in Las Vegas, where we take system impact to young people, and we use culinary as a therapeutic tool to work on healing the harm. Yes. Healing harm and dealing with trauma, generational trauma, because a lot of our trauma comes from our parents. We call it baggage, right? Inheritance. And then when you think about the young people that we're dealing with today in our community that have ADHD, PTSD, bipolarism, learning disabilities, we have to think back to their existence and how they came into this world. I remember being in prison, and a lady wrote me from prison. And she told me, she actually said I was the nicest drug dealer she ever met in her life. But she also reminded me that I would never sell her any drugs because she was pregnant at the time. I received multiple letters over the years of young men, young boys who was watching me as a drug dealer who wanted to be like me, who eventually wound up in prison. This is why this work is so important that we do here. This is why the gathering in this community here that Youth Empowerment brought here tonight is so important. And when I look back at my life, I would have never imagined that I would have become a chef and I would be working with system impact to young people and adults. I've been blessed to travel all over this country and all over the world, not only sharing my story, but sharing the stories of many other people who have been doing the work here. Tonight, again, it's truly about accountability. Tonight is about building a community of people and acknowledging the young people who came up here because they are our future. And when I think back again as a young boy growing up in this community, I want to say that San Diego is truly on the move. San Diego is really doing the work that a lot of cities around this country really need to look at as a model. So I want to say that I'm proud of everybody in this room, especially the folks that I know here. My mother's former pastor's son is here. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And Reggie Washington, I want to say I'm proud of you. Reggie was one of those guys way back in his former life that you wouldn't want to run into. Right? And to see him here in the tuxedo tonight, to see Pink here in a suit here tonight, and Nunu here, the guys who I was on the street with, it's a proud moment to say that we made it. Yes. Yes. And for Arthur and Youth Empowerment, I've been doing this work for about 20 years. And when I met Arthur, he helped change my life and helped me see the work in a different light. Yes. I've been flying down here training in the restorative circles, restorative practices, and going out with Youth Empowerment to various schools. And to see the passion, to see the realness in those with lived experiences really, really moves me and really touches my heart. So I know we're running short out of time here, but I want to say everyone in this room here plays a very important role. And I want to say also that I'm glad to be home, and I want you all to use me. And I want to be able to help this city begin to make a difference in the lives of the young folks here in this city. So God bless you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, San Diego. My name's Leticia Bombardier. I'm a former probation officer. I know you were thinking I was going to say a former incarcerated person. Also comedian. Anyway, Arthur asked me, I volunteer with Youth Empowerment when I can with Project Aware, and I'm the board secretary for Youth Empowerment as well. So Arthur had asked me to write a play, And now it's turned into basically a spoken word type of play. And so Kevin, if I can get you up here, we're gonna use Kevin, Arthur, and his son to play certain parts just really quickly in the play. They're not gonna say anything, I'm just gonna read. But I also want you, if you see a sign and you can identify, so this would be Arthur's family, I would like you to stand up just briefly, just so people can acknowledge you, and there'll be other signs as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and start. So Kevin, if you can just come stand by me. Here's an old story, it's always the same. Only thing different is their, his, or her name. Changing the ending, that's where it's at. But how can they change it when they feel they are trapped? Insecurities of belonging, shelter, food, income, and food lead to decisions that aren't always good. One day they're in juvie and maybe go home, but stays they get longer, and my, how they've grown. With no end in sight, they're earning their stripes. If it's not life in prison, shut up and don't gripe. This story will guide you through one man's fight, a story that fits more than one plight. So please take a listen with open hearts. We can help change the story if we all do our part. The choices he's made and lives he helps mold, from lifer to mentor and now CEO. So deep in the hollows of my hardcore cell, I sit and wonder, have I died, gone to hell? Stuck in the shoe with no hope in sight, I failed my family, I can no longer fight. My homies and cellies, they'll look out for me. Not here, but with family is where I want to be. The weeks, the months, and the years pass me by, and that's when I finally opened my eyes. I read hundreds of books and took classes too. I'd educate myself out of this zoo. Locked up and treated like animals are, I'd made up my mind and wished on the stars. After 14 long years, I've gotten my chance to get myself out of this bad circumstance. Now I'm going to speak for the system partners, which will be the parole officers. Another one's out to the recovery house. Get pics of his tats and don't miss an inch. It'll help ID him the next time he's in. Oh, he'll be back, they usually do. Can't keep it together, they start acting a fool. So long in the system, they don't know what to do. They go back to the same families, crying boo-hoo. Stats don't lie, he'll be back here someday. For sure, he'll have another sentence to pay. Can't believe it, you're finally home. It's not time to party or go out and get stoned. We love you and missed you, our family's now whole. We prayed and we prayed that God save your soul. Deep down inside, not sure if you'll stay. We pray that your demons will all go away. Arthur, I'm glad to be back in my old hood. Got lots to prove and not be misunderstood. Breaking the cycle, there's no harder task. Stop living a lie and take off the mask. I know what you're thinking. You've seen this before. It's the same freaking story. Oh, what a bore. At sentencing, his mother has cried on all fours, not sure if she can take much or any more. Remember, don't judge before the story's complete. Let's wait till the end. Don't assume his defeat. Reminiscing about nights we hung out at the park. Better head home, don't stay after dark. All this shit happens evening to night, only to scatter when we see the cops' lights. And even though bad times, we long for much more. We gotta stop trying to even the score. There is no more gizmo, happy termite. The community's safety is our new fight. Police, when they pass us, we don't run and hide. They stop and they greet us, giving high fives. Then comes probation, the council, and more. They want us as mentors like never before. They dust themselves off and do what they do, guiding our families, going into schools. They take us out fishing and bike riding too. The black and the brown and white people too, your colors don't matter. We all welcome you. The idea of the spark, one man at a park, community mentors, now part of the arc. Community healing, no more family despair, amends to be made, broken hearts to repair. Though we can't take it back, the damage we've done, we try and move forward, unite, become one. The fight and the plight, not new to this, just some. We walk alongside them and show how we've won. Building healthy families, showing our love. No judgments, no arguing, just rising above. We hope you will see through the wall and thug life. We are all just hurt people. We all have our strife. When you look deep inside of both you and of me, you'll see I'm not much different from your image you see. You may certainly find that your problems in life really aren't much different than my family's or mine. And Arthur and Joshua. My past life from you, my son, I will not hide, because who I was, I will never deny. The ups and the downs, the highs and lows too. I'm a better person for mom, brothers, sisters, and especially you. The story you've heard you've heard more than once. We hear it all year, for weeks and for months. Be it the ending, the middle, or start, did you find a place where you play a part? People are people with love in their hearts. Let's all show compassion and learn of their starts. I just want to say that writing this, I was inspired by many of the mentors who are part of Project Aware, who are part of Youth Empowerment. And while I am not a lived experience of having ever gotten in trouble, maybe ever having gotten caught, I can't remember, but I have to tell you that these two organizations have played a tremendous role in my life. And you don't have to be that lived experience person to benefit from the services that Arthur and Reggie have been a huge part of my life. Thank you both. And it was a pleasure.
All right, thank you so much, Letitia. That was really wonderful. I didn't introduce myself earlier. My name is Tricia Gooch, really. I wouldn't make that last name up. And I am so proud and humbled that Arthur chose me last August to help him move this organization forward to its next step. And that is to provide more services, to save more lives, to change more lives. And I'm happy to be a part of it. And my part starts right now, because we are going to engage in what I call a pledge drive. You'll notice we didn't have a silent auction tonight. We don't want to sell you dinner at Mr. A's cheap. We want you to support this mission. And by supporting the mission, you're going to make a pledge. We hope you will. In the middle of your tables, you have some pledge cards and you have a pencil. And we'd like you to pick up that pledge card and that pencil, write your name and your phone number, your email, and the amount you want to pledge to help youth empowerment tonight. I'm going to be going through different stages, different categories of gifts. We have some friends that are out there, Alexis and Amanda, that will pick up your pledge cards when we get to that point. But take this moment, fill out a card. Every little bit helps. And I think Arthur has a few words to say to you right now before we get started with that.
Thank you, Tricia. Hello. Thank you, Tricia. So earlier I was laughing and giggling and feeling good, but I want to tell you a story that happened to me yesterday. I go visit kids at East Mesa Detention Facility, Kearney Mesa, work with the Public Defender's Office. I'll go in there, talk to youth that are possibly being tried as an adult, pending 707s. Yesterday, this happened yesterday. I get up at 6:30 in the morning, I get ready, shave my head, and I'm on way to East Mesa. I get to East Mesa, I go through the process, I bring some pinochle cards because I'm so excited to teach this kid how to play pinochle, right? And so I go into East Mesa, I check in, I go into the visiting room, I see him. K-Tesh, I see you out there, the lawyer that represents him. As soon as he seen me, he was so excited to see me. But in the other room, there was another kid in that other room. He had his hands up in the air like this. Like if he was drowning. Like he was swimming and he was drowning, but he was so excited to see me. I have bad eyesight, so I had to get a little closer. When I recognized him, my heart sank. It fell to my stomach. He was a kid I was working with at a San Diego Unified School District a year ago. This particular kid got caught up in that school to prison pipeline. What are we doing to save lives? What is the system doing to save lives? What is our organizations doing to save lives? What are the parents doing to save lives? What are community members doing to save lives? That little boy happens to be on that brochure. This wasn't planned or strategized, but he happens to be on that brochure that's right in front of you on why kids, why teenagers join into gangs. This is serious business, and this is serious work. And a lot of organizations with the lived experience and other wonderful organizations, what are we doing to dismantle the school to prison pipeline? What are we doing? All these mass shootings, all these shootings around the world, around the nation, what are we doing? How do we do that? We need trauma-informed systems, trauma-informed programs. We need trauma-informed principals, trauma-informed probation officers, trauma-informed organizations. This work is hard work. Since yesterday and today, I've had an image of this kid in front of my eye. Like, man, like we didn't do enough. As I'm coming out of juvenile hall, finishing the visit with this other kid. There he goes again, like right in front of the probation officer and the staff, like, hey, I'm here again. I told the probation officer, hey, can I have a talk with him? I come out from visiting that kid and I step out and I'm like, man, what's going on? What happened? He puts his head down. I was like, no, put your chin up. Put your chin up. We connect. He's like, I didn't have my mother. I didn't have my father. I was expelled from school. Everybody gave up on me. I know you guys were there and I could have went to the office and checked in like I normally do, but I got caught up. He was wearing an orange shirt. What that means is he has some type of serious charge. That's his first time in there. But he's under the illusion that I'm getting out in a month or two. It doesn't work like that, right? So now there's another chapter that's opening up. Now he's in the probation system. Yes, we could work with him. We could go visit him, bring services. But what happened during that time? The school to prison pipeline. Where did that go wrong? And that's been my thought process from yesterday and today. It's been so heavy on my mind, I didn't even eat today. That's the type of work we do. I know what we're doing. I know what Youth Empowerment is doing. I know what I'm doing. I know what Project Aware is doing. What are you doing to save lives? What are you really doing to save lives during these times? Our youth, individuals, and families, they need us. Rosa Park Elementary, the parents are here. There's about 10 parents here present today. That traumatic cycle of violence, this works. The efforts of several organizations, it works. And we have data to prove that it works. Going into Clark Middle School, over 50 incidents in the month of January, we weren't there. From February till June 3rd, only 22 incidents. So I'm just here, just speaking from the heart, just challenging everybody for this pledge drive. What are you doing to save lives? Our budget, I don't get paid for CEO. Niki don't get paid for COO. We get paid for being part of the program. 95% of our funding is for program and positions. That's what our budget looks like. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. It was heavy on my heart, but what are we doing to save lives? Thank you.
Now's your chance, everybody. You have on your pledge cards a little CR code. If you don't want us to call you next week and ask you to fulfill that pledge, you can just take a picture of that CR code and give online right now. I know a lot of young people prefer that. But now's the chance for you to save lives by giving to Youth Empowerment. If you are going, I'm going to do this in stages, and my friends are going to come by and pick up those cards. When you hear the category that you're in, raise your card high up in the air, and they'll collect it for you. So if you're going to give $100 or less, we're going to start the other way around. This is kind of unusual. But if you can give $100 or less to Youth Empowerment tonight, raise your card in the air, and they'll come pick it up. Thank you. Thank you. Raise it high up in the air so Alexis and Amanda can see them. Thank you. Hold it up there so they find you, because they're going to pick up those cards. Hold those cards up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I see a lot of cards up there. A lot of people up there. Hey, if you're going to give $100 to $500, Raise that card up in the air. We really thank you so much. We can do a lot of good if we can increase our budgets. Thank you, everybody. They're going to bring those cards up to me. We're going to be calling you next week to fulfill those pledges to help us save lives, change lives. You're going to be a part of that mission. Anybody that's going to give between $500 and $1,000? Do we have anybody that can give $1,000 to Youth Empowerment tonight? $500 to $1,000. Thank you. Raise your card up high. We're going to pick them up. And if anybody is going to give over $1,000 tonight, I'll come sit on your lap. I'll have Arthur sit on your lap. Raise those cards up high. Anybody else? Anybody else? Thank you so much. Now, Niki Martinez, you need to get up here. You got to show that dress off, girl. There she comes. So we're going to have fun. We're going to hand out, draw the raffle opportunity drawing prizes tonight. Nikki's going to help me with that first thing. First drawing tonight is for the complete luxury car detailing. And the winner is?
And the winner is that chicken dinner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay, the number for the winner for the car detail is 092708. 0808. I can't see nobody, nothing.
Turn it this way.
Oh.
Read the number.
No. For y'all that purchased raffle tickets, pull your tickets out and get a gander at that number that's on that ticket. This is for the winning prize for the car detail. I'm going to read the number one more time. 092708. Yes? Do we have a winner? Okay. You did. Okay. Woo! Congratulations. Ask if you can get 2 cars. I'd like mine detailed also. Thank you very much.
Next is the old tickets to the Old Globe.
The next we have is for the 2 tickets to the Old Globe Theater. Yes. Woo! The number is 092714. Winner, winner. Do we have a winner? Somebody stood up. Yay! Yes! Come get them tickets.
Next is,
Oh.
0927, what was that? Oh,
It's okay. I won't draw it again.
This is the cooking lesson, Zoom cooking class.
So the next prize that we have is 3 cooking lessons on Zoom with Chef Jeff Henderson. What? The number is 092714.
Did Chef Jeff win his own prize?
Did you win your own prize?
Read them again.
No? Okay. 092714. No way.
Draw another one.
Draw another one.
Okay. Gotta be here to win. Gotta be present to win.
092632.
092632.
Keep going?
Just leave it.
What? Oh, we do have a winner. Thank you. You really can't see nothing up here.
Congratulations. Good for you. All right. This is number 4. It's
vacation at the San Diego Country Estates. For how many days? I don't remember for how many days. The number is 092742. Okay. Woo! It is.
The Youth Empowerment hats and t-shirts.
Oh, okay. Okay, the last prize that we have is for the Youth Empowerment swag bag for a hat. You guys have no idea how many times I've gotten pressured and they have tried to punk me out of my Youth Empowerment swag gear. So, hopefully you won this. 092745. Are you serious? Girl, we're going to the casino later. What? It must be. All right, awesome. Okay. So, I want to thank everybody for coming today. There's something special near and dear to my heart that I would also like to share with you all. I'm going to read it because I will have a tendency of going on and on and on, and I definitely don't want to do that because, well, we're getting ready to dance. The DJ done came all the way from LA. I want to see everybody get their swag on. Yes. So, with that being said, I would just greatly appreciate your guys' presence right now. I want to say that for all of us that are here today, thank you for coming. This is an extremely, extremely special space that we are all in, and we're sharing this together. It's a divine appointment, and it is full and exploding with greatness. If you take a moment to look around this room, there is amazing human beings in this room. Yes, give yourselves a round of applause. Absolutely. We could be anywhere in this world. We could be anywhere. But for whatever reason, right now, we are all right here, together, connecting, sharing each other's lives, our great works, and our hearts with each other. We're here, and we're present. As most of you all know, I'm a formerly incarcerated woman. I was tried and sentenced as an adult at the age of 17 to 45 years to life. After serving 25 years, in 2019, I was released from prison. Thank you. There are 3 reasons why I'm here today. 3. My mama and my daddy's prayers, because my victim's family forgiven me, and because advocates were out here fighting for juvenile justice and provided me an opportunity to go before the California Board of Prison Hearings after serving 25 years. I had 15 more years to do. I'm not supposed to be here. That's why I say this is a divine appointment. Okay, yes I am. Yes I am. But I say that because we are all in this space together, because every single one of us is supposed to be here tonight. Every single one of us is supposed to be here. I was found suitable because of my insight and the work that I had done on myself, and because of my remorse. My mission was to come home and to honor those that I had harmed, and to grind and make a difference in this world. I am not the only one that's on this mission. I do this with so many other amazing people. This is what our credible messenger movements and our credible messengers are doing every single day. So let us honor those that have survived, that have overcome their trauma, that wake up daily on a mission to help encourage our young people's lives, to deposit self-esteem and work into individuals that are the most vulnerable and that are in need to be reminded that they are precious gems in this world. They do it from their hearts. So let all of the credible messengers, I ask, please, in this room, please stand and be recognized for a moment, and let us give them an applause. Welcome home. Welcome home. Thank you. So speaking of hearts, there is a heart in here that is so big that he has been on a mission to embrace the world with his mission to change youth, individuals, and families' lives, as he always says. We are on a mission. Youth, families, and individuals. We're going to do it. This is what we're doing. He has the biggest heart, has favor anointed upon him that no man can touch, and continues to find solutions to every situation you could think of. That is so inclusive, compassionate, and loving. This man breathes life into all of us, and his sole mission is to be full of his purpose, and he lives it. This man has blessed many of lives, been a gift to this world and his community, and he is so much to so many people. He's a husband, he's a father, he's a mentor, a son, a brother, an advocate, and an amazing, amazing boss. But most of all, the greatest human being that I know. He's the most humblest human being. That's my dog, my bestie, Arthur Soriano. May you please come up. Yes! So, yes. I love you, boss.
I didn't know nothing about this.
No, he didn't. No, hey, hold on, excuse me. Can I read it? I would like to read it to you all. It took a lot of thought, time, and effort into this, okay? So, Youth Empowerment's finest, because that's who we are, right? The founder and CEO, Arthur Soriano. This is what it says. Ordinary people can accomplish extraordinary things. Thank you for making us extraordinary, for being the greatest leader, the best boss, and an inspiration to so many. We love you.
Thank you so much. I know we went way past program, y'all, but that's okay. So, yeah, the DJ's gonna get it cracking. You know, if you like to boogie down, then you can boogie down. If you don't, all good. But we love you guys. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. All right, perfect.